As per my last video, I was out looking for Sunset Sarsaparilla and I did not find it because Smith's doesn't have it. I don't really know where I can find it. Doesn't Ace Hardware sell it? I'm gonna find it. If I have to order it, I'll find it. I got a Fanta instead. I want something sweet, so I got a Fanta. Don't you want a Fanta? I love Fanta. I wanted to make a quick video, and it's not explicitly political, but it's something I have noticed over the last few months that I'm sure everybody else noticed. I just wanted to talk about it because, again, I like to call out stupidity on both sides of the political spectrum on the internet. And what I've been seeing, so I talked about like the day that Charlie Kirk got shot. I made a couple videos after that, just talking about it, right? So what I've seen in the, what has it been, like 2 months? Has it been 2 months? Anyway, since it happened, I have seen a lot of the empathy crowd absolutely crapping all over his wife, Erica Kirk, and their kid, just basically just dehumanizing them. Laughing at the fact that their father was murdered. Still mocking. And anytime Erica Kirk does anything, they got a problem with it. And the thing that I've seen in the last couple of days, like Erica Kirk came out to one of those things, she had the leather pants on, and she hugged J.D. Vance and she put her hand on the back of his head. Now, I admit, that is a little personal to be hugging a married man like that. But here's my thoughts on all this. Because, okay, what immediately happened was something you would absolutely expect. Was leftists jumping all over Erica Kirk and saying, why is she hugging him like that? They're definitely dating. They're having an affair. J.D. Vance is cheating on his wife. Okay, J.D. didn't tell her to do that, for one. And two, I got two thoughts on this. Erica Kirk probably didn't think much about this, and she just did it because there's something that you'll notice when someone has a loved one, especially their romantic loved one, their husband or their boyfriend or something like that. When they have their partner taken away from them, especially in such a violent way that Kirk had, dang, it is bright. My God. When somebody has that happen to them and they have their partner taken away in that kind of a manner, that suddenly, they crave physical touch. Now, I'm not saying it's okay to go around touching other married men if you're a woman that's happened to, but it could be a little understandable because I've dated people, a couple of people, since I moved here to Utah. Went on a few dates with people who had recently lost their past partner. Both of them to opioid use. That's an epidemic in this country. Now, I would always bring it up. I'm like, why are you dating so soon? And the answer really was they were trying to move on. They needed some physical affection in their life because it was just this void that was like just taken. That's what Erica Kirk's still grieving, people. Okay? The woman is still grieving the loss of her husband. And she's trying to navigate this shit with her kid. So everybody's like, oh, she moved on quick, didn't she? Yes, she's trying to. But now she's got these people trying to cyberbully her. It's disgusting, man. It's gross. Why are people like this? Well, I tell you why they're like it. Because remember Charlie Kirk said that he didn't believe in empathy? I don't know if I've said it on the channel or not before. I've said I can't stand the word empathy. Because I feel like most of the time when somebody tries to spout empathy out in your face, it's fake. It's virtue signaling. It is virtue signaling. That's all it is. And the second somebody says something that these people don't like, that empathy goes out the window. It completely goes out the window. There's no empathy anymore. That's because it's fake. It's fake. You can empathize with somebody you care about. Yeah, you can empathize, sure. You know? But when somebody's online telling everybody, oh, you lack empathy, Nobody's required to have empathy for anybody, okay? For one. But two, most of the liberal empathy that you see is fake. It's virtue signaling from hell. It's all it is. And it's easy to spot it because before this Charlie Kirk thing, what do you hear from liberals all the time? Empathy, 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 empathy. Shut the fuck up. It gets on my nerves because you know as soon as something happens where they can cyberbully a conservative or a moderate or anybody, even liberals who don't agree with everything they want, they cyberbully them. I'm pretty sure a truly empathetic person, a true empath, is not going to cyberbully somebody and mock the death of their husband being violently taken from them right in front of them. And Erica Kirk said this thing about her kids still ask where daddy is. She said he's on a trip with Jesus. Okay, I'm not religious. That's fucking heartbreaking, man. A child not realizing their husband is murdered, and liberals are on there just mocking it. Mocking. No, they'll be fine. She's not the only widow. Blah, blah. They're laughing at it. They're laughing at a kid asking where her murdered father is. I hope liberals watch this video because y'all need to be called out, and I know you're not going to care. I know you're going to say, well, Charlie Kirk, this. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Charlie Kirk didn't hurt anyone. He didn't break any laws. He was not a lawmaker. He was not a politician. He just fucking talked. He said things you didn't like. He said things I didn't like. I've got friends that I vehemently disagree with some issues on. Okay? As long as those friends don't insult me directly or trash me for my views, we're going to be friends. Period. We're going to be friends. And that's something that Charlie Kirk never actually did. He didn't straight up insult someone unless they insulted him first. And people didn't like that. And the thing is, when people don't like something now, liberals especially, they think like children, man. They think like children. So I would call people out on this online. You know, say you're laughing at a child asking where her mother or her murdered father is. And what do these people immediately believe? They immediately go after me and say, well, you're a Republican. You don't know what empathy is. I'm not a Republican. I'm not conservative. That's the thing. It's like if you say anything they don't like, if you disagree with them on anything, they automatically assume you voted for Trump. They assume you're a fascist. They assume you're a racist. They assume you're far right or whatever. I fly that flag back there, not because I'm Republican, not because I'm a fascist, but because I served my country in the United States Army with plenty of other left-leaning moderates and liberals like me, and plenty of other conservatives and Republicans like me. And I say like me, not politically, but as an American. We were there together. I just had this this whole thing where, what was it? What spurred this conversation on? I can't remember. Oh, it was like it's like 50-something% of Americans believe that political violence in this country is going to get worse. Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely, I can see that. I believe that. So, somebody commented, and I didn't know who this person was at the time. They just commented, so we're just forgetting American history? Okay, yeah, we've had a civil war before. We've had a civil war. We've had little riots, you know, the Black Lives Matter protests, the Rodney King riot, stuff like that. But that was less of political violence and stuff that could spark a civil war than anything that had happened since the actual Civil War. And I said, no one's forgetting history, but I'm about to turn 40. I turned 40 in February. I'm about to turn 40, and this is the most politically tense that this country's ever been in my lifetime. In fact, it's the most politically tense it's ever been in most of our lifetime. You know, the only thing I can remember since might be the civil rights movement. That was back in like the 60s. I think it was the 60s. That was pretty politically tense. But most of us weren't born since then. You know, we were all born. Most of the folks that watch my channel are of my age or a little younger. So 80s and up. It's never been like this. So I said, no, this is the most politically tense that it's ever been. And this person said, let me hold your hand when I say this, but did you forget about 9/11? Now, as soon as they said this, I went on their profile. I had to know. I'm like, is this person old enough to even know what 9/11 was like? No. It's like this 19-year-old girl that lived in New York. No, wait, she didn't live in New York, but I don't know where I got that from. But she lived somehow in the middle of the fucking nowhere in the country. And this 19-year-old girl, she looked 19. She's at least early 20s. I know she's not old enough to even be alive when 9/11 happened. So I've reached that age where Gen Z believes that they can school me on what the largest terrorist attack in the United States has ever been like when I watched it on TV. So my reply literally was just, hey, let me hold your hand when I tell you that you are not old enough to have known what that was like. I watched 9/11 happen on TV in high school. I was 16. The very next year when I turned 17, I joined the military. The year after that, I was in Iraq, and then I went to Afghanistan. I fought in the 2 wars that spurred on. And the one thing I very much remember about 9/11 was that we were disgustingly united. There was a lot of fear and racism that spiked toward Muslim people after that, which can be understandable because look at who attacked us. It's the same thing with that happened at Pearl Harbor. After Pearl Harbor in World War II, Japanese people were kind of persecuted in this country. Now, I don't agree with that, but I can understand it. People were scared. People were scared of Muslim people. And New Yorkers, this whole thing with Mamdani, I guess that's how you say it, who got elected as mayor in New York. Now, Democratic Socialist, I've said I'm a Bernie Sanders guy. He's a Democratic Socialist too. Now, Bernie Sanders is an unapologetic American. He's still like, I'm an American, period. You know, I want to help American people. Mamdani's not like that. So he's a little bit, I don't like that guy. I don't like him. But we will see what happens in New York. We'll see what happens in New York. Most of the people that voted for him, most of his, Jesus, that son. The demographics that voted for him are people that are young, i.e. not old enough to realize what 9/11 actually was like, and definitely didn't fight in the wars against the people that attacked us. So they voted for him. Now, if you don't know, he's a Muslim guy, hates Israel, hates Jews. He hates Jews. I think he hates Jews, won't condemn jihadism, wants to give everybody things for free, which I don't know how that's going to fucking work, and wants to abolish prisons. No, sir. Now, he's not going to affect my life out here in Utah. He's the mayor of New York. He's not going to be able to do much. Here's the thing. We'll see what happens. But again, most of the people that voted for him were too young or foreigners. People that were born in New York or old enough to know what 9/11 was like are not voting for that guy because they don't like it. You know, I don't know much about the guy personally. I haven't watched a lot of his speeches or anything. I haven't watched any speeches. It doesn't matter. But when people try to school me on things that I legitimately lived through, sit down, child. You don't know what you're talking about. And then after that reply, she was like, I'm sorry, who started the problem in Afghanistan? Do you believe that you've got me with that question? Do you think that was a gotcha question? Russia started the stuff with Afghanistan, and we went over there to help them. The CIA and Special Forces fought with the Mujahideen against Russia. And then we trained the Taliban to keep up that fight. And the Taliban was friendly with us until Osama bin Laden took over, looked at Americans. He's a jihad, obviously. And he said, you know what? Anybody that's not like us, we want them dead. The United States is anti-Muslim. Let's attack. And that's how 9/11 happened. Now I got this little fucking 19-year-old trying to school me on that. Shut up, child. Shut up. Oh my God. I had to get a little boomer at that point. Just be quiet, child. You don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, that was my day yesterday. Just yelling at people on the internet for being stupid and being non-empathetic Empathy goblins. That's what I call them. Empathy goblins. They're fake. They're hypocritical. They're insufferable. They're annoying. And everybody's tired of it. Everybody's tired of these people. How do we fix this? It's not going to get fixed. It's going to get worse. It will get worse. I don't think there will be a civil war. I do not. If it happens, then again, I'm going to be that guy that's in the middle. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know my thoughts on that. We're so divided because people on the internet don't talk like human beings anymore. They don't think of other people as human beings. And they've dehumanized anyone who doesn't agree with them. And that was what the Nazis actually did. They dehumanized the Jews. And now liberals dehumanize conservatives. They dehumanize moderates. They dehumanize other liberals that disagree with them on stuff. That's fascism. That is what fascism is. I'll say it right now. Liberals want to call conservatives and Trump supporters fascists all day. But when I see my Trump supporting conservative friends, they're some of the most kind people on the planet. They would pull you out of a burning building and you would call them a fascist for it. Liberals are fucked in the head, man. That's it. Y'all have a good one.